Cascading like a river through a city made of glass, counting every ghost that's watching every second pass, against the silent rhythm of a pulse that's losing ground, deep within the static where the answers can't be found. Between the white hot anger and the blue of the regret, lower than the secrets that our heart hasn't told yet. Underneath the surface there's a levee about to break, tethered to the pressure of a long and heavy ache. Down into the valley where the light begins to fail, staining every letter in the pages of the mail. Heavier than the iron yet as hollow as the rain, mapping out the borders of a fresh and jagged pain. Searching for a shoreline that has vanished from the view, drowning every part of me that's still in love with you. Nothing left to stop them, nothing left at all. Watching as the universe, my tears fall. Sinking through the floorboards like a dark and silver ring, closer to the edge and even closer to the brink. Bitter as the winter when it bites into the bone, rigid as a statue that is standing all alone, blurring out the edges of a world that's turned to gray, washing every footprint of a happy yesterday. Shatter every mirror, let the water turn to ice, pay for every memory at a cold and bitter price. Listen to the echo in a wide and empty room, realize that the silence is the only thing to bloom. Tears fall, overflowing the banks, crashing on the floor. Water doesn't care who is at the door. Still falling, still falling, still falling. Silence in the spaces where the voices used to ring, voice within the melodies that the heart forgot to sing, echoes of the laughter that has vanished down the hall, cracks in every promise waiting for the final fall. Whispers turn to dust within vacuum in the air, tangled in the absence of a life that used to care. Emptiness, the anthem of a house without a soul. Hollow are the promises that took their heavy toll. Gone is every whisper, gone is every single sound. Vanished every trace from the cold and hollow ground. Dust is every dream we built, a gray and wasted trust. Finally and fully, nothing left of us. Winter in the kitchen, where the air has turned to glass. Counting every second that the lonely minutes pass. Against the silent rhythm of a pulse that's losing ground. Deep within the static, where the answers can't be found. Rigid as a pillar in a house that's caving in. Missing every marker where a better life begins. Shatter every mirror, let the evidence depart. Listen to the ticking of a slow and quiet heart. Tear the paper curtains, let the darkness take its fill. Realize that the absence is the only thing that's real. Dust is every dream we built, a gray and wasted trust. Finally and fully, nothing left of us. Blank within the eyes, hollow in the chest. Nothing is the answer, put it all to rest. Right across the surface, like a sun upon the sea, drowning in the darkness of a lonely memory. Laughter in the kitchen, ringing hollow on the floor. Anguish in the hallway, leaning on a locked door. Gleaming like a diamond in a perfect silver frame, burning like the paper that is catching on a flame. Opposite as winter to the heat of mid-July, separated by the silence of a long and heavy lie. Radiant and steady like a star against the night, flickering and failing, losing every bit of light. Simple as a greeting, yet as heavy as a stone, empty as a cathedral when you're standing all alone, watching through the window as the better times go by, learning how to function while the spirit starts to die. Beautiful and cruel underneath the summer sky, always in the distance. She smiles, I cry. Soft around the edges like a velvet kind of dream, jagged as a mountain splitting open at the seam, easy as a heartbeat, never stopping for a breath, quiet as the snowfall and as permanent as death, perfect in the timing of a life moving ahead, stranded in the echoes of the things we never said. Shatter every mirror, let the contrast disappear, listen to the logic of a slow and quiet fear, trading every always for a never really was, caught inside the ripples of a love without a cause. Radiant and steady like a star against the night, flickering and failing, losing every bit of light. Simple as a greeting, yet as heavy as a stone, empty as a cathedral when standing all alone, watching through the window as the better times go by, learning how to function while the spirit starts to die. Beautiful and cruel underneath the summer sky, always in the distance. She smiles, I cry. Happy in the sunlight, hollow in the rain. One of us is winning, one is just the pain. She smiles, I cry. Clinging to the fabric of the coat behind the door, spill across the surface of the cold and wooden floor, between the golden sunlight and the shadows on the wall, breathing in the silence of a long and empty hall, etched into the glass of every mirror in the place. features of a long forgotten face. Underneath the floorboards there's a secret starting to rot, tied into the center of a tight and tangled knot. Sharper than a razor, yet as hollow as a stone, seeping through the marrow, marrow bone. Bitter as the iron, they are cutting through the dark, leaving on the spirit such a deep and jagged mark. Trading every always for a never really was, caught inside the ripples of a love without a cause. Everything is vanished, everything is vain. Finally and fully, your lies remain. Silver standards that were never meant to be, drifting in the ripples of a much more shallow sea. Rigid as a pillar in a house that's caving in, missing every marker where a better life begins. Shatter every window, let the winter win inside. Strip away the comfort where the whispers used to hide. Listen to the logic of a hollowed out belief. Notice how the forever was just a clever thief. Sharper than a razor, yet as hollow as a stone, seeping through the marrow, marrow, the bone. Bitter as the iron, they are cutting through the dark, leaving on the spirit such a deep and jagged mark. Trading every always for a never really was, caught inside the ripples of a love without a cause. Everything is vanished, everything is vain. Finally and fully, your lies remain. They always stay. They always stay. They always stay. Cold wind whistles through the gaps inside my ribs. Empty are the promises and all the little fibs. Every time the sun comes up, it feels like an intrusion, lighting up the wreckage of a beautiful delusion. Scattered on the carpet are the remnants of the years, washed away in rivers made of mercury and tears. A bitter taste of iron is the only thing I know since the 2020 suits winter started falling like a blow. stay broken. Stay broken. Discarded like a winter coat in the middle of July. Invisible as oxygen against the summer sky. Scattered in the hallway where the sunlight used to lean. Lost within the static of a flickering television screen. Beneath the stack of messages you never meant to read. Silent as a garden where the flowers turn to weed. Out of focus, out of frame, blurred along the edge. Fading like the writing on a rainy window ledge. Erased from the story like a line you didn't need. Broken like a promise that was never meant to lead. Hollow as the ringing in a long and lonely ear. Vanished from the calendar of every coming year. Tethered to a memory that's dissolved into the grave. Watching as the us we were just simply drifts away. Nameless in your history, a ghost you cannot see. Finally and totally, you forgot me. Buried in the pocket of a long abandoned suit. Bitterness is growing from a shallow dying root. Past the point of searching, past the point of being found. Sinking like a heavy stone into the frozen ground. Absent from the table where the tea is getting cold. Useless as a secret that has already been told. Shatter all the mirrors and you won't even miss my face. Delete the digital echoes that are taking up your space. Nothing left to argue, nothing left to win or lose. Just a pair of worn out, empty, unremembered shoes. Erased from the story like a line you didn't need. Broken like a promise that was never meant to lead. Hollow as the ringing in a long and lonely year. Vanished from the calendar of every coming year. Tethered to a memory that's dissolved into the grave. Watching as the us we were just simply drifts away. Nameless in your history, a ghost you cannot see. Finally and totally, you forgot me. Gone from the photo, clean from the glass. Wait for the moment tracking down the center of a quiet, dusty hall, bleeding through the paper on a cold and empty wall. Heavy as a mountain, yet as fragile as a glass, counting every second that we let the shadows pass, staring at the doorway where the air has turned to stone, building up a kingdom out of being all alone. Underneath the floorboards, there's a secret trying to scream, tangled in the wreckage of a half-forgotten dream. Listen to the sound of the silence as it breaks. Feel the way the foundation of a life begins to shake, sharper than a razor. It's a jagged kind of piece, begging for a thunder that will finally bring release. Everything's quiet, but it's loud inside my head, drowning in the echoes of the things we never said. Nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to find, just a broken silence and a heart left behind. Flickering like static on a television screen, searching for a meaning in the spaces in between. Distant as a shoreline when the tide is pulled away, waiting for a reason just to make it through the day. Wrapped in velvet darkness, cold enough to make you shiver, dying like the current of a frozen winter river. Shatter every window, let the wind begin to howl, strip away the comfort, throw the dirt upon the towel. Anything is better than this hollow ringing hum. Tell me that the ending isn't all we've become. Listen to the sound of the silence as it breaks. Feel the way the foundation of a life begins to shake, sharper than a razor. It's a jagged kind of piece, begging for a thunder that will finally bring release. Everything is quiet, but it's loud inside my head, drowning in the echoes of the things we never said. Nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to find, just a broken silence and a heart left behind. Falling into pieces, crashing on the floor. Silence isn't quiet, not anymore. Broken, so broken, so broken. Cold enough to crystallize the breath inside a chest, heavy as the iron in a bird without a rest. Deep within the wiring where the static starts to hum, numb across the fingertips until the winters come. Beneath a sky of graphite, under clouds of jagged slate, locked inside a moment that has learned to suffocate. where the ghosts and silence meet, walking on the glass of every promise and deceit. Sharper than a needle, yet as heavy as a stone. Finally discovering what it means to be alone. Bleeding through the colors until everything is gray. Watching as the better times begin to ride away. Echoes in the hallway, echoes in the rain. Finally and fully alone with pain. Bitter as a medicine that never heals the wound. Stuck inside a melody that's permanently tuned. Against a door that's bolted toward a window that is blind. Chasing every ghost that I was meant to leave behind. Steady as a fever, constant as a falling tide. Caving in the spaces where the light used to reside. Strip the paint from every wall and tear the curtains down. Trade the golden sunlight for a tattered linen gown. Listen to the heartbeat of a house that's made of bone. Realize that the struggle has a language of its own. Welcome to the wreckage where the ghosts and silence meet, walking on the glass of every promise and deceit. Sharper than a razor, yet as heavy as a stone. Finally discovering what it means to be alone. Bleeding through the colors until everything is gray. Watching as the better times begin to ride away. Echoes in the hallway, echoes in the rain. Finally and fully alone with naked in the doorway, hollow in the hall. Pain is the only thing standing through it all. Long sustain feedback, fades in silence. Just pain, just pain. Fading like an ember in a sudden winter rain. Sinking through the floorboards with a heavy kind of stain. Lower than the cellar where the shadows learn to creep. Darker than the secrets that a dying fire would keep. Between the golden moments and the grayness of the hall. Against the jagged edges where the summer used to fall. Underneath the blankets there's a frost that won't depart. Freezing every rhythm in a hollow wooden heart. Listen to the shiver of a house without a soul, marking down the hour that the warmth went cold. Stiff as a winter branch, brittle as a bone, turning every together into a permanent alone. Gone is the flicker, vanished is the glow, covered in a layer of a silent indoor snow. Nothing left to kindle, nothing left to hold since the day the warmth went cold. Pale across the window where the sunlight used to burn, empty as a bottle that has reached the point of no return. Beneath the copper kettle where the steam is turned to ice, paying for a memory at a bitter, heavy hasn't happened yet. Strike 1,000 matches, but the sulfur won't ignite. Wrap your arms around the wind and try to hold it tight. Everything is marble, everything is slate, locked inside a season that is far too cold to hate. Brittle as the grass beneath a sheet of morning frost. Bitter as the count of the things that we had lost. Frozen in the middle of a sentence never done. Paler than the winter light of a disappearing sun. Hanging in the rafters like a thread of silver wire. Dying like the embers of a long forgotten fire. Underneath the velvet there's a blade of jagged glass, waiting in the shadows for the memories to pass. Shattered on the pavement like a hollow crystal ball, stiff against the silence of a dark and empty hall. Rigid as a statue in a garden of regret, locked inside a season that hasn't happened yet. Blue around the edges, turning gray inside the core. Useless as a key inside a rusted iron door. Nothing but a shiver that is starting to take hold, living on the echoes of a promise gone cold. Sharp enough to cut the air and leave a jagged scar. Distant as the flicker of a dead and lonely star. Woven into fabric that is starting to unspool. Cruel as the logic of a heartbreak's only rule. Caught inside the ripples of a lake that's turned to ice. Paying for the future at a heavy winter price. Strike 1,000 matches just to watch the sulfur fail. Watch the words turn into mist with every deep exhale. Build a wall tomb of mountain stone. Realized that the warmth was just a thing we had on loan. Shattered on the pavement like a hollow crystal ball, stiff against the silence of a dark and empty hall. Rigid as a statue in a garden of regret, locked inside a season that hasn't happened yet. Blue around the edges, turning gray inside the core. Useless as a key inside a rusted iron door. Nothing but a shiver that is starting to take hold. Living on the echoes of a promise gone cold. Numb to the touch, white in the eyes. Promises are snow before the sun dies. Cold, always cold, always cold. Back against the corner of a cold and empty frame, buried in the static of a long forgotten name. Beneath the heavy velvet where the secrets start to rot, tied into a circle like a tight and tangled knot. Watching from the sidelines as the colors start to bleed, sowing every sorrow like a dark and dying sea. Underneath the surface there's a war already lost, paying for the victory at a bitter heavy cost. Bow before the shadow of a queen without a throne. Build another monument out of jagged mountain stone. Sharper than a razor yet as hollow as a drum. Counting every heartbeat until the winters come. Always just a second best, a ghost inside the hall, watching as the almost simply starts to hit the wall. Nothing left to rescue, nothing left to defend. Finally and totally, she wins again. Pale across the hallway where the sunlight used to burn, stuck inside a lesson that her heart refused to learn. Against the silver mirror where her face begins to fade, caught inside the ripples of a promise never made. Rigid as a statue in a garden of regret, waiting for a sunrise that hasn't happened yet. Burn the map to nowhere, let the ashes hit the floor. Listen to the locking of a final heavy door. Everything is silent, everything is slate, locked inside a version of a long and lonely fate. Bow before the shadow of a queen without a throne. Build another monument out of jagged mountain stone. Sharper than a razor yet as hollow as a drum. Counting every heartbeat until the winters come. Always just a second best, a ghost inside the hall, watching as the almost simply starts to hit the wall. Nothing left to rescue, nothing left to defend. Finally and totally, she wins again. of a much more shining light, frozen in the corners of a long and lonely night. Between the standard measures and the hollow in the bone, counting every reason for a heart to be alone. Always just a fraction short of holding your attention, tangled in the spaces of a name you didn't mention. Lessons carved in granite on a cold and dusty floor, realizing kindness wasn't what you're looking for. Sharper than a razor is the science of the end. Harder than the granite is the break I cannot mend. Trading every always for a checklist of the flaws, caught inside the balance of a love with hidden laws. Finally admitting that the mountain was too rough, slowly and completely learning why I wasn't enough. Bitter as the iron in a world's turned to rust, sifting through the ashes of a vanished kind of trust, against the silver standards that were never meant for me, drifting in the ripples of a much more shallow sea, rigid as a pillar in a house that's caving in, missing every marker where a better life begins. Shatter every mirror, let the evidence depart. Listen to the ticking of a heavy metal heart. Notice how the shadows start to hang from every ridge, except that some horizons were never meant to bridge. Lessons carved in granite on a cold and dusty floor, realizing kindness wasn't what you're looking for. Sharper than a razor is the science of the end. Harder than the granite is the break I cannot mend. Trading every always for a checklist of the flaws, caught inside the balance of a love with hidden laws. Finally admitting that the mountain was too rough, slowly and completely learning why I wasn't enough. Finish with the science, empty in the hole. Silence is the answer when you lose it all. Not enough, never was, never was. Cascading like a river through a city made of glass, counting every ghost that's watching every second pass, against the silent rhythm of a pulse that's losing ground, deep within the static where the answers can't be found, between the white hot anger and the blue of the regret, lower than the secrets that our heart hasn't told yet. Underneath the surface, there's a levee about to break, tethered to the pressure of a long and heavy ache. Down into the valley where the light begins to fail, staining every letter and the pages of the mail. Heavier than the iron, yet as hollow as the rain, mapping out the borders of a fresh and jagged Silence in the spaces where the voices used to ring, voids within the melodies that the heart forgot to sing, echoes of the laughter that has vanished down the hall, cracks in every promise waiting for the final fall. Whispers turn to dust within the corners of a room, fading like a memory inside a silent tomb. Underneath the quiet, there's a vacuum in the air, tangled in the absence of a life that used to care. Emptiness, the anthem of a house without a soul. Hollow are the promises that took their heavy toll. Gone is every whisper, gone is every single sound, vanished every trace from the cold and hollow ground. Dust is every dream we build, a gray and wasted trust. Finally and fully, nothing left of us. Winter in the kitchen where the air is turned to glass, counting every second that the lonely minutes pass, against the silent rhythm of a pulse that's losing ground, deep within the static where the answers can't be found. Rigid as a pillar in a house that's caving in, missing every marker where a better life begins. Shatter every mirror, let the evidence depart. Listen to the ticking of a slow and quiet heart. Tear the paper curtains, let the darkness take its fill. Realize that the absence is the only thing that's real. Emptiness, the anthem of a house without a soul. Hollow are the promises that took their heavy toll. Gone is every whisper, gone is every single sound, vanished every trace from the cold and hallowed ground. Dust is every dream we built, a gray and wasted trust. Finally and fully, nothing left of us. Blank within the eyes, hollow in the chest. Nothing is the answer, put it all to rest. Nothing to silence. Right across the surface like the sun upon the sea, drowning in the darkness of a lonely memory. Laughter in the kitchen, ringing hollow on the floor. Anguish in the hallway, leaning on a locked door, gleaming like of mid-July, separated by the silence of a long and heavy light. Radiant and steady like a star against the night, flickering and failing, losing every bit of light. Simple as a greeting, yet as heavy as a stone, empty as a cathedral when you're standing all alone, watching through the window as the better times go by, learning how to function while the spirit starts to die. Beautiful and cruel underneath the summer sky, always in the distance. She smiles, I cry. Soft around the edges like a velvet kind of dream, jagged as a mountain splitting open at the seam, easy as a heartbeat, never stopping for a breath, quiet as a snowfall and as permanent as death. Perfect in the timing of a life moving ahead, stranded in the echoes of the things we never said. Shatter every mirror, let the contrast disappear. Listen to the logic of a slow and quiet fear. Trading every always for it never really was, caught inside the ripples of a love without a cause. Radiant and steady like a star against the night, flickering and failing, losing every bit of light. Simple as a greeting, yet as heavy as a stone, empty as a cathedral when you're standing all alone, watching through the window as the better times go by, learning how to function while the spirit starts to die. Beautiful and cruel underneath the summer sky, always in the distance. She smiles, I cry. Happy in the sunlight, hollow in the rain. One of us is winning, one is just the pain. She smiles, I cry. Clinging to the fabric of the coat behind the door, spilled across the surface of the cold and wooden floor, between the golden sunlight and the shadows on the wall, breathing in the silence of a long and empty hall, etched into the glass of every mirror in the place, hiding in the features of a long forgotten face. Underneath the floorboards there's a secret starting to rot, tied into the center of a tight and tangled knot, sharper than a razor. finally and fully, your lies remain. Burning like a fever in a cold and quiet room. That were never meant to be, drifting in the ripples of a much more shallow sea, rigid as a pillar in a house that's caving in, missing every marker where a better life begins. Shatter every window, let the strip away the comfort where the whispers used to hide. Listen to the logic of a hollowed out belief. Notice how the forever was just a clever thief. It's sharper than a razor, yet it's hollow as a stone, seeping through the marrow and the marrow of the bone. Bitter as the iron, they are cutting through the dark, leaving on the spirit such a deep and jagged mark. Trading every always for it never really was, caught inside the ripples of a love without a cause. Everything has vanished, everything is vain, finally and fully, your lies remain. Stuck inside the foundation, groaning to the grave. You might be a ghost, but your lies remain. They stay, they always stay. Discarded like a winter coat in the middle of July, invisible as oxygen against a summer sky, scattered in the hallway where the sunlight used to lean, lost within the static of a flickering television screen. Beneath the stack of messages you never meant to read, silent as a garden where the flowers turn to weed. Out of focus, out of frame, blurred along the edge, fading like the writing on a rainy window ledge. Erased from the story like a line you didn't need, broken like a promise that was never totally. You forgot me. Buried in the pocket of a long abandoned suit, bitterness is growing from a shallow dying root. Past the point of searching, past the point of being found, sinking like a heavy stone into the frozen ground. Absent from the table where the tea is getting cold, useless as a secret that has already been told. Shatter all the mirrors and you won't even miss my face. Delete the digital echoes that are taking up your space. Nothing left to argue, nothing left to win or lose. Just a pair of worn out, empty, unremembered shoes. Erased from the story like a line you didn't need. Broken like a promise that was never meant to lead. Hollow as the ringing in a long and lonely ear. Vanish from the calendar of every coming year. Tethered to a memory that's dissolved into the grain. Watching as the us we were just simply drifts away. Nameless in your history, a ghost you cannot see. Finally and totally, you forgot me. You forgot me. Gone from the photo, clean from the glass. Wait for the moment to let the ghost pass. Long, hollow echo fades out. Long, just blank. Just blank. Cold wind whistles through the gaps inside my ribs. Empty all the promises and all the little fibs. Every time the sun comes up, it feels like an intrusion, lighting up the wreckage of a beautiful delusion. Scattered on the carpet are the remnants of the years, washed away in rivers made of mercury and tears. A bitter taste of iron is the only thing I know since the 2020, since winter started falling like a blow. I stay broken like a clock with frozen hands. A stranger wandered across these devastated lands. It's the rattle in the breathing, it's the shadow in the eye, watching every once upon a time shrivel up and die. No one's got a needle that can stitch a soul this torn. I'm just the cold remains of a love that's been outworn. Yeah, the silence is the only thing that's truly ever spoken, because I stay broken. Every I'm okay is a lie I tell to pass the time. While I'm falling down a mountain I no longer wanna climb. Is there mercy in the ruin? Is there power in the air? Or am I just a vessel that was destined for the break? I've stopped trying to mend the seams or hide the jagged light. I'm leaning into the disaster of this permanent night. I stay broken like a clock with frozen hands. A stranger wander across these devastated lands. It's the rattle in the breathing, it's a shadow in the eye, watching every once upon a time shrivel up and die. No one's got a needle that can stitch a soul this torn. I'm just the cold remains of the love that's been known. Yeah, the silence is the only thing that's truly ever spoken, because I stay broken. Pieces in the dark, shards upon the stone. The only way to be is to be broken and alone. Don't reach for me, the seal is already open in 22C. I stay broken. I stay broken, I stay broken. Cracking down the center of a quiet, dusty hall, bleeding through the paper on a cold and empty wall. Heavy as a mountain, yet as fragile as a glass. Counting every second that we let the shadows pass. Staring at the doorway where the air is turned to stone. Building up a kingdom out of being all alone. Underneath the floorboards there's a secret trying to scream, tangled in the wreckage of a half-forgotten dream. Listen to the sound of a silence as it breaks. Feel the way the foundation of a life begins to shake. Sharper than a razor, it's a jagged kind of peace, begging for a thunder that will finally bring release. Everything is quiet, but it's loud inside my head, drowning in the echoes of the things we never said. Nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to find, just a broken silence and a heart left behind. Flickering like static on a television screen, searching for a meaning in the spaces in between. Distant as a shoreline when the tide is pulled away. in all we've become. Listen to the sound of a silence as it breaks. Feel the way the foundation of a life begins to shake. Sharper than a razor, it's a jagged kind of peace, begging for a thunder that will finally bring release. Everything is quiet, but it's loud inside my head, drowning in the echoes of the things we never said. Nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to fight, just a broken silence and a heart left behind. Falling into pieces, crashing on the floor. Silence isn't quiet, not anymore. Broken, so broken, so broken, so broken. Cold enough to crystallize the breath inside a chest, heavy as the iron in a bird without a rest. Deep within the wiring where the static starts to hum, numb across the fingertips until the winters come. Beneath a sky of graphite, under clouds of jagged slate, locked inside a moment that has learned to suffocate. Always just a shadow's land, away from being fine, tangled in the copper of a broken power line. Welcome to the wreckage where the ghosts and silence meet, walking on the glass of every promise and deceit. Sharper than a needle, yet as heavy as a stone. Finally discovering what it means to be alone. Bleeding through the colors until everything is gray, watching as the better times begin to rot away. Echoes in the hallway, echoes in the rain. Finally and fully alone with pain. Bitter as a medicine that never heals the wound, stuck inside a melody that's permanently tuned against a door that's bolted toward a window that is blind, chasing every ghost that I was meant to leave behind. Steady as a fever, constant as a falling tide, caving in the spaces where the light used to reside. Strip the paint from every wall and tear the curtains down. Trade the golden sunlight for a tighter letting gown. Listen to the heartbeat of a house that's made of bone. Realize that the struggle has a language of its own. Welcome to the wreckage where the ghosts and silence meet, walking on the glass of every promise and deceit. Sharper than a razor, yet as heavy as a stone. Pain is the only thing standing through it all. Long, sustained feedback that fades into silence. Just me. Fading like an ember in a sudden winter rain, sinking through the floorboards with a heavy kind of stain. Lower than the cellar where the shadows learn to creep, darker than the secrets that a dying fire would keep. Between the golden moments and the grayness of the hall, against the jagged edges where the summer used to fall. Underneath the blankets there's a frost that won't depart, freezing every rhythm in a hollow wooden heart. Listen to the shiver of a house without a soul, marking down the hour that the warmth went cold. Stiff as a winter branch, brittle as a bone, turning every together into a permanent alone. Gone is the flicker, vanished is the glow, covered in a layer of a silent indoor snow. Nothing left to kindle, nothing left to hold since the day the warmth went cold. Pale across the window where the sunlight used to burn, empty as a bottle that has reached the point of no return. Beneath the copper kettle where the steam has turned to ice, paying for a memory at a bitter, heavy price. Rigid as a statue in a garden of regret, waiting for a sunrise that hasn't happened yet. Strike 1,000 matches, but the sulfur won't ignite. Wrap your arms around the wind and try to hold it tight. Everything is marble, everything is slate, locked inside a season that is far too cold to hate. Listen to the shiver of a house without a soul, marking down the hour that the warmth went cold. Stiff as a winter branch, brittle as a bone, turning every together into a permanent alone. Gone is the flicker, vanished is the glow, covered in as the grass beneath a sheet of morning frost, bitter as the counting of the things that we have lost, frozen in the middle of a sentence never done, paler than the winter light of a disappearing sun, hanging in the rafters like a thread of silver wire, dying like the embers of a long forgotten fire. Underneath the velvet there's a blade of jagged glass, waiting in the shadows for the memories to pass. Shattered on the pavement like a hollow crystal ball, stiff against the silence of a dark and empty hall, rigid as a statue in a garden of regret, locked inside a season that hasn't happened yet. Blue around the edges, turning gray inside the core, useless as a key inside a rusted iron door. Nothing but a shiver that is starting to take hold, living on the echoes of a promise gone cold, sharp enough to cut the air and leave a jagged scar, distant as the flicker of a dead and lonely star, woven into fabric that is starting to unspool, cruel as the logic of a heartbreak's only rule, caught inside the ripples of a lake that's turned to ice, paying for the future at a heavy winter price. Strike 1,000 matches just to watch the soul fulfill, watch the words turn into mist with every deep exhale. Build a wall of marble, build a tomb of mountain stone, realize that the warmth was just a thing we had on loan. Shattered on the pavement like a hollow crystal ball, stiff against the silence of a dark and empty hall, rigid as a statue in a garden of regret, locked inside a season that it hasn't happened yet. Blue around the edges, turning gray inside the core, useless as a key inside a rusted iron door. Nothing but a shiver that is starting to take hold, living on the echoes of a promise gone cold. Numb to the touch, white in the eyes, promises are snow before the sun knows. Always cold. Back against the corner of a cold and empty frame, buried in the static of a long forgotten name, beneath the heavy velvet where the secrets start to rot, tied into a circle like a tight entangled knot, watching from the sidelines as the colors start to bleed, sowing every sorrow like a dark and dying seed. Underneath the surface there's a war already lost, paying for the victory at a bitter heavy cost. shadow of a queen without a throne. Build another monument, a jagged mountain stone. Sharper than a razor, yet as hollow as a drum. Counting every heartbeat until the winners come. Always just a second best, a ghost inside the hall. Watching as the almost simply starts to hit the wall. Nothing left to rescue, nothing left to defend. Finally and totally she wins again. Pale across the hallway where the sunlight used to burn. Stuck inside a lesson that her heart refused to learn. Against the silver mirror where her face begins to fade. Caught inside the ripples of a promise never made. Rigid as a statue in a garden of regret. Waiting for a sunrise that hasn't happened yet. Burn the map to nowhere. Let the ashes hit the floor. Listen to the locking of a final heavy door. Everything is silent, everything is asleep. Locked inside a version of a long and lonely fate. Bow before the shadow of a queen without a throne. Build another monument, a jagged mountain stone. Sharper than a razor, yet as hollow as a drum. Counting every heartbeat until the winners come. Always just a second best, a ghost inside the hall. Watching as he almost simply stares to hit the wall. Nothing left to rescue, nothing left to defend. Finally and totally she wins again. She wins again. Walking off the stage, quiet in the crowd. Loss is never quiet, even when it's loud. She wins again. She wins again. Pleasure in the gravity of every heavy word. Watching how the best of me was seen but never heard. Beneath the golden standard of a much more shining light. Frozen in the corners of a long and lonely night. Between the standard measures and a hollow in the bone. Counting every reason for a heart to be alone. Always just a fraction short of holding your attention. Tangled in the spaces of a name you didn't mention. Lessons carved in granite on a cold and dusty floor. Realizing kindness wasn't what you're looking for. Sharper than a razor is the science of the end. Harder than a granite is the break I cannot mend. Trading every always for a checklist of the Taking